waiting for it, and it's going to bite you. I tell you, that's a painful way to die. Well, anyway, we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. My name is Gary, and James Christbaum is my co-host tonight.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Boy, James, I can't wait for the top of the hour. Well, after your newscast, then we have Tim Swartz on, and we're going to be talking about time machines, time travel. You know, I'm starting to think maybe that's how people, maybe travel through time. A lot of these sightings of UFOs might not be from another planet. There could be devices from our own planet that use like a black hole or as a portal to travel in time.
Well, I in all my almost 40 years of researching this kind of stuff, in my world, I've found there's probably 3 different plausible answers for UFOs. One is aliens from another galaxy, planet, whatever, solar system, maybe interdimensional beings, and maybe it's us from the future. And along with that, I really do think this Mandela effect is the byproduct of maybe us time traveling throughout the years, and it changes things. It's got me thinking about this stuff. Anyway, that's my little world.
Well, I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to time travel. One of the first TV shows I remember was called Time Tunnel. Do you remember that one? And I tell you, I had a crush on that one lady doctor, scientist.
Lee Merriweather.
I don't remember her name, but she ended up playing with
Catwoman.
No, that's not the right one. You're not thinking about. You're still too young. You got to move back. Time Tunnel was done in the early 60s. And one of the stars, the lady scientist, later went on to play with Barnaby Jones. The detective show?
That's Lee Merriweather, I'm telling you. I know, I'm dead serious. I watch Time Tunnels on MeTV, I think, every weekend.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm wrong. That's possible. Quite possible, actually. What can I say? But I tell you what, she played better, though, honestly, with Barnaby Jones.
Yeah, she was his sidekick there. Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she actually played Catwoman for a little bit, too, in Batman.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, because they had that other Catwoman. That's the one I was thinking of, I can't think of her name, but she was quite a bit younger.
Yeah. I can't think of her name either, but I know who you're talking about. They actually have 2 or 3 of them, but yeah, she wasn't on it very long. I think maybe she was in the movie, but she was on it. She was Catwoman for a couple shows anyway.
Yeah. But, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go in time and then, and then get out of time and stuff? But I always couldn't figure out, how do they have video? Here they are, right? And they're trying to bring them back to the current time, but they never managed to do it. But they always had video and sound without a camera. How did they do it?
Oh, hey, you know what? They had technology that would blow your mind even back 50 years ago.
You mean with those big computers with these big, round magnetic recording tape? Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they had a computer the size of your house that equaled our smartphone today, and they had the big analog switches on it and stuff. Yeah, those ones. The ones that took us to the moon and back.
Yeah, I'm surprised it got us to the moon and back. Frankly, I just think about it. One of my very first computers I had, it was a PET, not the Commodore 64. It was a VIC-20. Commodore VIC-20 had more memory than what they sent the moon. The people to the moon with the computer on the spacecraft. Let alone what they had on the down, in the control room.
I know. I remember. Being a youngin' in the late 70s, early 80s, I got one of those for Christmas one year, and I was like, wow, what is this thing? What is that?
I don't know, but I think I made somebody like Dreamland hungry. I was talking about a 6-foot bird.
Yeah.
He's posting up on chat, he's thinking of buffalo wings. I wasn't even thinking about that after I read that. Now I'm thinking, buffalo wings with sweet and sour sauce or barbecue sauce would be really good tonight.
Yeah, well, first you got to find yourself a buffalo wings. That's the main thing. How are you going to do that?
I don't know, but could you imagine a 6-foot bird?
Hey, I got to tell you something.
That's like an ostrich, isn't it? Isn't an ostrich about 6 foot?
Yeah, or emu. But when I was in the 70s, I went to the little local fair here, and they had this thing out there, and it had this big sign. There was this guy out there barking, "Come see the 6-foot man eating chicken. You got to see this." So you go inside the tent once you pay your quarter, 50 cents, and there's this man sitting there. He's 6 foot tall eating chicken.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I was like, "What is that? You got to be kidding me!" Yeah, dead serious. I never felt so ripped off in my life. I had to pay 50 cents to watch a 6-foot man eating chicken.
Well, they didn't lie, did they?
No, they had it all legal. They didn't lie.
6-foot man eating chicken. Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, yeah, that's a good one. Maybe I'll try that and make some extra money. But, I just think about, back years and years ago, there was a farmer that went and decapitated his chicken's head because he was, going to have chicken for dinner that night. And his axe was slid off. And it left a little bit of the brain stem. And, the bird didn't die. And it went on to be in a whole bunch of, a circus and all that stuff. It finally did die because it choked to death. They had to feed it with a pair of tweezers.
Oh, Lord.
Because there was no head left, no eyes, no mouth, I don't even know how it still functioned, but it was still functioning as a chicken.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, about these invasive species, a perfect example, it must have been almost 20 years ago now, but I've told you before, I was out. There were a lot of Bigfoot sightings out in the middle of this nowhere where my dad lives, out there in the Bigfoot country. And so I thought, I'm going to go out there and see what's going on. And I was out there, and I'm hearing these ungodly noises. And, when I hear these noises, and it's broad daylight, too. So I crouch down, like I do in my little stealth mode. And and it's coming closer and closer, and it's coming up over this little ridge. So I'm on the ground behind this log, and I'm like, we're going to come to head. It's going to be me against whatever this thing is, Bigfoot or whatever. And it gets up there, and I peek up, and there it is. It's a daggone peacock making ungodly noises. But farmers have a bunch of these peacocks, and they get loose, and now they're out in the wild. So that's, there's a perfect example. And that's a pretty good-sized bird, too.
Oh, yeah. And I bet you were scared.
Well, I tell you what, I was ready for it. Was there's no way I could outrun whatever this was, so I was ready to fight. I was definitely a little scared. Yeah.
Well, hey, Karen, I want to thank you about when we were talking about that lady doctor, Anne McGuire. You're right. Time Tunnel, 1967, Cat Woman in the Batman movie and the TV show, and Perry Mason, and on the original Star Trek, and a whole bunch of other ones. Yes, I still like her the best. So, to be honest with you, in Barnaby Jones.
Yeah, she was, I think, Miss Universe or Miss America, too. She was a good-looking woman. She's still living, I think.
Well, I hope so. I mean, God, I hate to see anybody die.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, she's been around a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, watch how you say she's been around a while. You can take that two different ways.
Okay.
Now, James, watch it. We're not an X-rated show yet.
Okay. I'll have to watch what I'm saying, I guess. Sorry about that.
Well, you know what? I am so excited and stoked about the guests we got lined up. You know who we have coming up, the big one.
On the 21st, you're talking about Whitley Strieber. And I got to tell you something, and the perfect example. I've been studying UFOs and abductions, I'm telling you, a long time. I know I'm mostly associated with spirits and demons and all that kind of stuff, but I broadened my horizon. I study everything and research and stuff. But when his book came out, The Communion, in 1988, it's still on my bookshelf, sitting right behind me right now. And I read that from front to back a few times, and I was like, wow, this guy has been through it, man.
Oh, yeah. And I got the book sitting here from Art Bell and Whitney on the Superstorm, you know, and I'm looking at that right now. And that is probably one of my favorite books. And it's so accurate. And it's all, they were off by about 30 years, but I tell you, it's all happening.
Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff's scary, you know. Some of the stuff that was recorded or done years and years ago, it comes to fruition years later. It makes you think, wow, you know, did they have a vision or what?
Well, Dreamland out there says what will scare you lots out in the woods at night is a owl.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he is so accurate because we got a mini forest here. We got a mini farm. I got 2 acres of cedar trees, and we have 1 or 2 owls. And I'll tell you what, yeah, I can tell you they can keep you up all night.
Yeah, and, you know, I've seen an owl probably about midnight one time, and I don't know what I was doing. I was young. I was riding a bicycle out, and I mean middle of nowhere by myself. I don't know what was wrong with me. But anyway, this owl came out of nowhere and grabbed this other bird, like literally 6 feet in front of me. And I got to tell you, that really stopped me in my tracks. That really kind of spooked me, you know what I mean? Because I'm already in the middle of nowhere, and you see this right in front of you. Boy, I tell you, I was never so glad to get home that night.
Oh, yeah. They like other smaller birds, and they like, you know, mice and stuff like that. I mean, you know, we got a little mini farm, so I guess, you know, I don't object to that. But you know what we have is a woodpecker here. It seems like it's here every spring through summer, and I hear it, and it's like a jackhammer on a tree. I mean,
they are annoying.
Yeah, you know, this makes me wonder if somebody out there is hearing Bigfoot knocks on a tree. Maybe it's a woodpecker, because I can tell you what, they go knock, 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 and then they'll stop, and then they'll just drive you. Yeah, you know, and you think it's only there in the daytime, but no, the one we have works overtime in the middle of the night. You got your windows open because it's hot. Well, maybe not this summer, but you got your windows open, right? And then you hear the woodpecker all night going at it.
Yeah, years and years ago, back whenever in that same time frame when I stumbled upon that barbecue, that same time frame, I was in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut in the woods, and man, there was one of them rare red-headed woodpeckers, and it was knocking so loud on a telephone pole or a transmission pole going across the mountain there. It would echo clear across there. I mean, it was incredible how loud it was. So I definitely could see how somebody would mistake it for a Bigfoot knock or something like that. Definitely.
I don't know. I'm so excited about tonight, though. We got Tim Swartz coming on here 5 minutes after the hour talking about time travel tonight. And boy, if you could go forward in time or backward in time, James, which way would you go? Would you go backwards or would you go forwards?
I would go to the 1870s